Hello, this is Matt's Amazing Mazes, and I'd like to share once more with my subscribers and viewers on a topical Bible subject about permanent world peace. Yes, permanent world peace. Is it attainable or is it unattainable? Well, I like to give you some beautiful information on this subject. And before I start, I like to say this is what I say in all my Bible topical discussions whenever I post them on YouTube. This is what I always say, 1 John chapter 4 verse 1. Do not believe every inspired statement, but test the inspired statements to see whether they originate with God, for many false prophets have gone forth into the world. Do your own research. Pray to the only one true God, and study from the Bible and pray and do your best to do what's right. So I'm going to start off with this subject: permanent world peace. Is it attainable or is it unattainable? So, well, actually, to tell you the honest truth, human efforts to bring world peace have failed and will continue to fail for several reasons. It does not belong to man who is walking even to direct his step. Jeremiah chapter 10 verse 23. Humans weren't created with the ability or the right to rule themselves, so they won't be able to achieve enduring peace. Or one scripture from the King James Version says it's not in himself, it's not in man, and to direct his step. It's like something that it's not in him, that he wasn't designed to do. So another scripture says, don't put your trust in human leaders. No human being can save you. When they die, they return to the dust. On that day, all their plans come to an end. Psalms chapter 146, verse 3 and verse 4, from the Good News Translation, Holy Bible. Government leaders, even those with the best motives, can't devise lasting solutions for the root causes of war. Another scripture expresses and describes a depiction of how this world is, the characteristics of what this world truly is. It says here, in the last days, critical times hard to deal with will be here. For men will be fierce, without love of goodness, betrayers, headstrong, puffed up with pride. 2 Timothy chapter 3, verses 1 all the way through verses 4. We live in the last days of the present wicked world, a time when prevailing attitudes make peace difficult. And there's another scripture that talks about the main root and cause of all this lack of peace. It says, woe for the earth and for the sea, because the devil has come down to you having great anger, knowing he has a short period of time. That's what it explains in Revelations chapter 12 verse 12. The devil God's enemy has been confined to the vicinity of the earth and motivates people to adopt his vicious spirit. As long as he is the ruler of this world, we can never live in peace. Now I'm going to read some scriptures from the Holy Bible. I got my Bible here. I'm going to read John chapter 12, verse 31. John chapter 12, verse 31 says, "Now is the judgment of this world. Now shall the prince of this world be cast out." Yeah, I mean, if this prince or this ruler of this world is causing problems, wouldn't you want him to be cast out? Now, how about 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 4? Oops. Second Corinthians chapter 4, verse 4. It doesn't talk about as him being a prince or a world ruler. It talks about him being as a god. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 4. "In whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Christ, who is the image of God, should shine unto them." So, this God of this world has blinded the minds of the unbelievers. He wants them to continue to be in, he wants all of them to continue to be in darkness. So we know that this talking about Satan, because it says in the book of Revelation that he has blinded the minds of all peoples, of all the inhabited earth. And he's continued doing it, you know. So so there's another scripture that talks about how God is going to remove the problem and then how he's going to fix it. See, God's kingdom will crush and put an end to all these kingdoms that oppose God, and it itself will stand to times indefinite. No human government will satisfy our desire for permanent world peace. Only God's kingdom can do this. Yes, it says in Daniel chapter 2, verse 44, I'm going to say again, you might as well put it this way, as you look on my screen and read with me. I'm going to try to put it in an essay so it can be better understood. In the days of those kings, the God of heaven will set up a kingdom that will never be destroyed. It will crush and put an end to all these kingdoms, or it will crush and put an end to all these human world political governments, and it alone will stand forever. Daniel chapter 2, verse 44. But you know what? No human government will satisfy our desire for permanent world peace, and that's why they're going to be destroyed, because it can't do it. Only God's kingdom can do this. And I'm going to read Psalms chapter 145, verse 16. Psalms 145, verse 16 says, "You give them enough and satisfy the needs of all." So, see, the human political world governments can't give the people enough, and they cannot satisfy the needs of all. Maybe they can satisfy the needs of a few, maybe some, but they can't do all. They can't do all the people. They cannot satisfy the needs of all people, because one way or the other, people are suffering. People are starving. People are ill and sick. There's not enough room for the hospitals to take them in. Sometimes that happens, and and some people lives in poverty. The poor, they don't have a home, or just one difficult problem of a situation after another. The man cannot stop wars from happening. They can't prevent death from from happening. Man can't stop death. He can't reverse aging. He man made advancements in in science and other fields and with advanced technology, but he can't stop crime, poverty, disease, death, all these other important things that matters. He can't accomplish. So man's a ability of doing things is futile. It's futile. It's worthless. His efforts are worthless. So this is what I wanted to share with my viewers. And before we go, let's look up Isaiah chapter 2 verse 4. Oh, my Bible. Isaiah chapter Isaiah chapter 2 verse 4 says, "And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and the spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore." This is talking about God's people, not the political world governments of humans. Um, because it says in Daniel 2:44 that God's kingdom is going to destroy all the other human kingdoms, and his will stand forever. So this is talking about his blessed people that will be blessed under these certain conditions, and they will learn war no more. It says in Matthew chapter 5 verse 44 to continue to love your enemies and pray for those which persecute you. If the true identifying mark to identify God's true people is that they will remain neutral from war. They won't involve themselves in wars. They won't involve themselves as being police officers, because police officers bear guns and weapons. They will learn war anymore. They won't learn violence or war anymore. They'll stay away from it. They will have these laws that they would obey to prevent them from violence and war. So I just wanted to share that with you. So this is Matt's Amazing Mazes signing off. Remember, don't take my word for it. Do your own research. Get that Bible off the shelf and dust it off and read it, because there's another prophecy that says in 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 7, ever learning but never coming to an accurate knowledge of truth, because people are so busy with secular knowledge and information, but they are not conscious of their spiritual need. And it says on the Sermon on the Mount, Matthew chapter 5, and one of the verses, it says to be conscious of your spiritual need, for the kingdom of heavens will belong to them. So peace out. Have a excellent time, and peace and happiness.